We're on Gittin Perek Gimel, Mishnah Gimel, third Mishnah in the third chapter of Masechet Gittin. Okay, so our Mishnah is going to discuss to what degree. Remember, you had to write a get and it had to be the Shema. So once the get was written, if you lost it, to what degree can you assume that that get is the same get? So says the Mishnah, Hamevi get avad him. A person is bringing a get. He's a shaliach. He's a messenger, and he lost it. It's out there kasher. If you found it right away, then it's kasher. V'im lav pasul. But if you found it later on, then it's pasul. And by the way, it seems like a little bit of a stretch, because you are carrying a get from Shlomo ben Avraham for his wife, Rachel, about whatever, from this city to that city. And you found another get just like that. What are the odds? So the Bartanur says, the Mishnah is based on the Gemara. You found it in a place where their shayarot, the caravans, were common. Because there was a possibility, that it was from people passing by. But if you lost it in a place where there weren't caravans, even if you lost it much, much later, then it would be kasher. Or, let's say you found it where there are caravans, meaning there's a lot of people passing by. If the edim have a siman muvak, an absolute sign, kagon, there's a hole next to this letter. They'll say, or the witnesses will say, we never signed a get with these names. By the way, that's less likely, because usually people who do Gittin do 1,000,000 of them. So how can they say? Maybe they did a different get with the exact same names. It is possible. So, but if you know, so it's interesting to note, I just remember that get that I showed you. So very often when they mail the get, they'll put like 3 dots on this letter and 2 dots over here. And then they'll say in the accompanying letter, the Beit Din will write, and there are 3 dots over here, and meaning they'll put a siman to make sure that the receiving Beit Din can identify it. Okay? So therefore, if you recognize it, kasher. If you don't recognize it, if you can't say definitively, this is that get, pasul. We can't assume that it is, you have to get a new one. If you found in a small sakik, in a small packet, or in a deluskema as a tik, in some kind of bag, you can look up on your own if you want to know what the exact words, it's based on the Greek, I guess. Imakiro, kasher. If you recognize that bag, again, it's fine. Kasher, it's a fine get, because you assume that's the get that you had. Meaning, even if you don't recognize the get itself, if you recognize the bag, that's enough. Let's say a person appoints you to bring a get to his wife, but he's sick, or he's elderly. So when you get there, do you assume that she's alive? Cheskat is from the word chazaka. Chazaka is an established fact. So once something is an established fact, you assume that stays true until you hear otherwise. So therefore, he gave it to you when he was alive to give to his wife. So you assume that he was alive and that you gave it to her when she was alive. What's the difference? Because now she's a divorcee. She is not a widow. That you find out that she died. That he died later on. But when did you give it to her? If you can't check. You assume that he was alive and now she's a divorcee and she can't marry a Kohen. Whereas if she was an almanah, a widow, she could be. Bat Yisrael nisu ala Kohen. Let's say Bat Yisrael was married to a Kohen. So when she's married to the Kohen, she can eat truma. And her husband went overseas. So again, as long as they're married, as long as he's alive, she can eat truma. Ochelet b'truma bechezkat shukayam. There's that word, chezkat. She can eat truma with the assumption of the chazaka that he's alive. Okay? Where shv'lo chayshin an shema meit ubatel shlichuto. We don't fear, we don't have concern. Maybe he's dead. Okay? I mean, this is the get. Why? Amrinan ha'ameg davar al chezkato. You say, you establish something, you leave it based on its chazakah. But let's say you found out that he died before you gave the get, then you don't give the get. That we knew. So that we said the same thing about Truma. Let's say you send, somebody's going to Israel. You say, could you bring a korban for me to the Beit HaMikdash? Similarly, if the owner of the korban died, then the animal cannot be brought as a korban. So how can you bring the animal? The answer is, again, chazakah. You assume the chazakah that he's alive, shukayam, he's alive, and that's how you can offer the korban in the Beit HaMikdash. We'll stop here, and as we always do, dedicate our learning to me and my father, Harav Simcha B'Yitzchak Kalman. Have a great day.